Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. We are back with ranking more Dragon Ball movies and specials, I guess, because today's video is all about the three big specials, or OVAs, whatever you want to call them. We will be talking about the special episodes, episode of Bardock, the history of Trunks, and Son Goku and his friends return. But before we get into it, I would like to make an announcement that is right. So today's video is sponsored. Yes, we got a sponsor somewhat. We are partnered with Dubby. Dubby is an energy drink where you put it in some water, you shake it up, and you got yourself a delicious new drink. This is an energy drink with absolutely zero sugar, zero artificial dyes, no artificial colors, or any of that BS. This is something you drink to get laser focused in, lock in on whatever you're doing, whether it be gaming with the boys or gooning. I don't judge. 150 milligrams of caffeine to make you lock in, and it even benefits the brain with vitamins such as B and C. And how it's focused is with every serving, it equals up to $1 a serving. That is a good price. This is coming from someone who drinks these kind of drinks as well. And they basically have a flavor from everything from sweet and sour, cream, and even Japanese inspired drinks like yuzu flavor and Japanese soda. And they recently just had a collab with Chainsaw Man, which, if you're a big fan of Chainsaw Man, I would highly recommend getting the cups because the cups are fire. And if you are interested in other anime, they have collabed with Solo Leveling, which not a big fan of Solo Leveling, haven't really watched anything, but the collab with Dubby is absolutely fire. Highly recommend that. So if you are interested, go on over to Dubby, use code GURINCHAN at checkout for 10% off, and thank you all for watching. Alright, ranking Dragon Ball specials, let's go. So first up, we have the episode of Bardock. Episode of Bardock is about Goku's dad, Bardock. And what's really interesting about this, as when this first ever aired, this was like the first ever glimpse we've seen of like the actual Saiyans and how they functioned, like, because I'm pretty sure this came out around the time as like the Cell Saga, so like all we knew at that time about the Saiyans was like Goku, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz. But we seen like completely new Saiyans in the form of Bardock, his team. We seen King Vegeta, and we even got to see the Frieza Force like earlier. So what's really interesting about this like special is that Bardock and his team, we open up to them wiping out a planet, and it's here Bardock gets cursed to see the future, like his demise, like how the people they were killing happened to them, because this was a race of people that like could see the future. And this alien gives Bardock the ability to see the future, and throughout the whole movie, he's seeing visions of Goku, he's seeing visions of like Goku fighting Vegeta, Frieza, etc. And even like glimpses of OG Dragon Ball. Like there's a scene where he sees Goku training under Roshi. I really like it. I'm also like a really big fan of Bardock's voice actor. I think he did really good. And just like Bardock also finding his team dead was actually a really good scene, in my opinion. And the scene where he's like begging people to like join his cause because he sees Frieza is going to destroy them all. And arguably one of the best scenes in all of Dragon Ball is Bardock standing up to Frieza. Just genuinely peak. But this is like it's like a 45-minute special. It's nothing too crazy. I personally really like it, and I will give it, I'm gonna give it A tier. I'm gonna give it bottom of A tier. What's being held back by like this movie is that like everything else in A tier has like an extra like 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes maybe even of runtime. So maybe if we just had like half an hour more, maybe if this was just like a whole movie instead of a special, it would be higher. But I really like that. I like the concept of seeing Saiyans, like how they actually were moving. Bardock was like, he's the GOAT. Bardock is like a lot of people's personal favorite characters, and I can definitely see why. Bardock is also goated in fighters. Just wanted to throw that out there. And yeah, Dragon Ball Genshin Squadra, if like any developers are saying this, I would love to see Bardock in the game. Next up, we have the history of Trunks. Now, this is a goated, like, special. History of Trunks is peak. This is like a backstory to future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, who, if you don't know, he came back, he used a time machine to go back in time and warn people of the androids and Goku's heart virus. And it's like really depressing seeing what the world like has turned into with the Z Fighters dead, and just like the movie opening up with Goku dying and then followed up by the Z Fighters dying was like low-key, like a really like cold start, but it sets the tone for the whole special. Like this is like a world with almost no hope, and like it's one hope in the form of Gohan like loses his arm. But I guess like yeah, I'll get into it. The dynamic between Trunks and Gohan is really, really, really good. And I even really like towards the end of the special where they start referring to each other as brothers. That was really nice. And just Gohan's final stand against the androids is just genuinely one of like, I know I said like Bardock was like a top character and him facing or Bardock's final stand against Frieza, if that's like a top like, let's say like 20. That's like a top 20 moment. Future Gohan's final stand and death is like a top 10. Maybe top 5. It depends on who you ask. I think it would vary. But yeah, this is a really good one. I love how ruthless and like deranged the androids are. I like future Trunks' comeuppance. I like Gohan. Gohan is probably my favorite thing about the movie. I'm going to give, you know what? I'm going to give this a bottom of S tier. I actually might have liked this more than Android 13. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it here. If I could, I would they're like right next to each other. I really like both of these. And for our last OVA of the day, we have Son Goku and his friends return. Now, I'm going to be quite frank with you guys. I did not like this. But this OVA requires some context. So, this was an OVA made for the 40th anniversary of Shonen Jump in 2008. And they made a 30-minute special where Goku and his friends return. This is 2 years after the defeat of Majin Buu, and Mr. Satan is having a big festival for the people who fought Buu, except Tien, because Tien was not invited. Also, Launch is in this movie. But in this special, the main plot is Tarble, who is Vegeta's younger brother, is revealed, and he needs help fighting these two, like, red and blue aliens, and they form into a purple one eventually. And this is basically a Gotenks movie, because it's mainly Gotenks who is fighting, like, these aliens. And one thing I found weird in particular, like, Gotenks, like, randomly does, like, the Wolf Fang Fist and volleyball, like, attack. Kind of just out of nowhere. But, I mean, I guess it was just to flex, but at the same time, like, if it's to show off these old moves, there's a scene, like, later on where Krillin and Yamcha have, like, some moments, so why wouldn't they just do that there? But, I mean, I guess, yeah, Yamcha saves, like, Bulma, Puar, and Ulan with the Spirit Ball. Krillin saves 18 and his daughter, Marin, with the Destructo Disc, because Destructo Disc is goated. But, yeah, Goku and Vegeta, and, like, Piccolo specifically don't really do anything. Gohan doesn't really do anything. It really is just like Gotenks. I think they should have just went all in on Goten and Trunks being the pro tags. But I mean, I guess I see what this is trying to go for, like a return to Dragon Ball for the big Shonen Jump's 40th anniversary. But like I mentioned, I did not like this. I'm going to give it bottom of C tier. And when I put it here, I want everyone to keep in mind that C tier, like everything in C tier, these are by no means bad movies. These, in my opinion, are just movies that I personally like. Okay, well, like I mentioned, I'll say this again, like keep this in mind. For C tier, none of these are bad movies per se. These are just movies I think that don't really have a lot of substance and might have like one or two, maybe three or four like good things about them, but overall I think are pretty average. So yeah, we are now done with Dragon Ball Z. Well, I mean, we still have Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans, but I don't think it's really called Dragon Ball Z. I think that's just Dragon Ball the Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans, but that'll be the next episode. So the next episode we're doing Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans, GT A Hero's Legacy, and Dragon Ball Evolution, which is going to be a really interesting one. So if you want to see me rank those, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell button. And shout out to Dubby for giving me a code. Use code GURNCHAN at 10% off. I'll put the link in the description. And with that, I will see everyone in the next one.